Gotta love when my hubby's exes comment warriors are in my comments. What have I ever done to that girl?
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't want to be anywhere else. He doesn't want to be anywhere else but right here. He doesn't. He said he doesn't want to sleep nowhere else. He doesn't want to be with nowhere else. He doesn't want to be without his sisters, his siblings, none of that. Oh, of course he deserves a home. We're working on it. I'm not worried about it. It's one step at a time. He is definitely old enough to make that decision, because when my parents got divorced, that when I was 10 years old, I made that decision. I was not.
Last time I made a video on the resilient Jenkins was back in March. So as you can imagine, a lot has happened since then. So in the last video, they had just got notice of eviction and now they have been evicted. And the eviction came a month after the notice. So they had plenty of time to do things and not get evicted. Like they could have got a job in that time and actually had some pay stub to help them to rent somewhere. But they didn't do any of that. Now, Stephanie has been telling everyone that they are in a hotel, but they are not in a hotel. They are in a homeless shelter where they are not paying rent. And not only that, but the rules mean that they have to leave this shelter for one night a week. So can you imagine a family of 7 and one of those being a newborn baby, and you've got to pack your stuff up and leave for one night to only go back to the same place? I mean, that has got to be absolutely heart-wrenching for these poor children. But that is not all that has happened. Drew has been taken to court not once but twice from his 2 previous baby mamas, and we are going to be covering it all. First of all, we are going to be hearing from Stephanie's mum.
I actually got into it last night with CPS because I feel like they don't give a shit. They don't care. Well, do you know this is happening? Or are you just suspicious? And I said, not only do I know this is happening, about 1 million people know it's happening because they're posting it all over the damn internet. I don't know how to feel about all of this, but I can tell you one thing for sure. I wish grandparents had more rights in the state of Oregon. I wish there was more I could do. I wish whatever this thing is between me and Stephanie, I mean, I'm so confused. She has 5 siblings, and I have a great relationship with all 5 of them. And why, when I'm right here wanting to help her, does she turn around and say I'm doing it for views and monetary reason? I have a damn good job. I make a good living. I'm fine. And I just, one thing I wanted to address, people keep asking, would I take Deshaun too? Why the hell wouldn't I take Deshaun? But I would only take him long enough to help Desiree get him back. Because for God's sakes, that woman deserves her kid. It's ridiculous. They fucking lied to me about that. Stephanie told me that when she met Drew, Deshaun's mom had abandoned him years before. The bullshit lies that have come out of those 2 mouths since they got together. It just, there's too much to say.
Stephanie's mum has offered help on more than one occasion. So they didn't actually need to go into this shelter, and the house Stephanie's mum's got would have enough room in it for Stephanie to have one room and the kids to have another room. So at least they would have a little bit of privacy. But the reason Stephanie doesn't want this to happen is because the condition that her mum set is the fact that she will take Stephanie and the kids, but she has to leave Drew. And of course, Stephanie's man is worth everything to her, so she's not going to abandon him. She would rather put her kids through hell than help them, so it would seem.
We're settled into a different hotel and we're doing our best to keep to our normal with a new environment. There's of course some adjustments, but for the most part, we've all remained grateful for just having a roof over our head and being together.
You may all still be together, but surely you can see you are in a worse situation. At least in the apartment you had, although the kids' sleeping arrangements were terrible in the front room, but at least they weren't in the same room as you and Drew. You had your own bedroom. So surely that was a better situation than what you're in now, and yet you refused to pay your rent and got evicted, and your only good thing now is the fact that you're in a homeless shelter and you don't have to pay rent. Well, I don't call that a good compromise. And the reason it's not a good compromise is because some of your children have gone back to sleeping on the floor, whereas in the other place they had beds. And your newborn baby is sleeping in a car seat. That is so unsafe and disgusting. It is unbelievable. Drew, even though he's in a smaller space, is still spending all of his time on his PS5 and not helping Stephanie. She's the one that's not getting hardly any sleep and is up all hours sorting out the baby, sorting out the other kids, doing all of the housework. And the only time that actually changed is when Drew decided he was going to have a TikTok account. But he didn't even do much for that because he wasn't the one filming it and editing everything. No, Stephanie was doing that. He was just doing the supposed actions to show that he does actually do things around the house, but only on a TikTok. As if things couldn't get any worse, they actually do. As I said back at the beginning of the video, Drew's baby mamas, so Arlita, the one who he owes a lot of child support to, and the other baby mama, Desiree, she is trying to get access to her son, who Andrew and Stephanie have got. Both of these women take Andrew to court. So on the first court hearing for Arlita, Drew attends and he attends the second hearing. And then when he sees that things are not going his way, for the third hearing, he doesn't attend. And this is the excuse of why he didn't make it to court. And it's a piss poor one, in my opinion.
All we know for sure is that he had a seizure yesterday. That's what happened. I will post a video too, but obviously a subscriber. So he went to the bathroom, and I was like, okay, this seems like a long time. I went to go check on him, and he's already laying down. So I woke him up and I said, are you okay? Are you okay? And he went to stand up and start talking to me, and he just started like stiffening up, fell over and started seizing. And I grew up with epilepsy. I had it until I was about 10. And I've seen and had a ton of seizures, so I knew what the heck I was dealing with, but I've never had someone who doesn't have a seizure condition have a seizure on me. No, that's okay. Nobody believes anything that... Nobody believes a lot of crap, and I don't really give a crap. They want to go believe in a bunch of hater accounts and Reddit fan club. That's on you to believe a bunch of crazy heads.
Drew has no history of having a seizure before, and he's 35 years old. So it seems highly suspicious that the day before he has to go to court, he suddenly has a seizure and ends up in the hospital and then cannot attend court. Now, don't get me wrong, it is possible to get epilepsy later on in life. But in this instance, I don't think that's what's happened because he's not had a second episode at all since then, which is highly suspicious, isn't it? And we all know from previous videos that Steph has made about Drew's health that he is pre-diabetic. He has a heart condition, allegedly, and he has a very bad back. All reasons why he can't get a W2 job. None of them are founded, and yet he runs around playing football with his child with all of those conditions. But it's okay to do that for an hour or more, but it's not okay to get a job where you're sitting down. I mean, the job I do, I sit down all day with a headset on, so I'm sure he is capable of doing something like that, and I'm sure you think the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hit the library at least once a week with the kids this summer. Definitely, there's lots of splash pads here in Portland, so we're gonna try to hit some splash pads. I think that what would be kind of nice is to try to shoot for at least once a month, renting a car for a few days at least, and then try to have as much as we can planned in those few days. But then outside of that, Drew and I just kind of take turns using the car, and I'll take the kids to the library, I'll take the kids to the park, whatever it may be.
Even though Stephanie is waffling in the foreground of that video, if you look at the background, you can quite clearly see Drew playing football with his son. And that apparently went on for about an hour while Stephanie was live in the foreground. Well, that just goes to prove my point. There can't be an awful lot wrong with his health if he is running around playing football. When it came to the second court case involving Desiree getting access to her son, Steph was absolutely put out because Arlita went to court with her to support her, which is a lovely thing to do, when both of you have had children with the same guy, and one of you has still got your child and the other one hasn't. But Stephanie did not like this at all, and this is what she had to say about it.
For those of you that are subscribed, there's not going to be a live this morning. I'm going to keep my phone available just in case Drew needs to get a hold of me. Y'all know you probably know where he's at this morning. And it's come to my attention that he decided to buddy up on him. And Drew's there by himself. I can't be there with my man. There's little ears on me, so I'm not trying to be too obvious about what I'm talking about. But, just say your prayers. I have faith that God will let the right person win in this situation. It's not even about winning, it's about making sure what's best for the kids happens. And prior to us going live, there was no question of who was right for the kids. So let's just pray that God shuts mouths that need to be shut officially. Right? I'm a little bit anxious if you can't tell. It's not sitting right that I can't be there with my man. But if all men have it by themselves in that situation, it's mine. He's got this. I just gotta. Okay, please.
I've said it's not about winning, it's what's best for the child. Well, what's best for the child is to not be in the situation that you two have put him in and the others. What's best for that child is for him to have quality time with his mum, to get to know his mum, for her to be back in his life after Andrew disappeared and nobody knew where he was, so she couldn't get access to him. And hopefully, eventually, she will get custody of said child and he will be in a much better situation in a house with a loving parent who is going to be able to provide for him a lot better than you two are. Result of the court case went in the mum's favour. Yay! So she has been awarded phone access to her child throughout the week and to be able to have him on a Sunday unsupervised so she can get to know him, because she's not been in his life for a very long time. So this is a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. And I'm very pleased that she has got some access to her child. Drew turned up to court in baggy capri pants, a hoodie and a hat, and the judge had to tell him to take his hoodie and his hat off. That's how much respect he has got for the law. I mean, he drives around in a car, and allegedly he hasn't even got a license to drive it.
Because I want to know, what were you going to do if you was there at the courthouse? I want to know, what were you going to say to me and Desiree? You weren't going to say anything, just like him. Scary. Had his head down the whole time. Especially when I went on the stand. You pray to God that they're going to, God uses my mouth. And you want to say we buddy up. Yeah, I'm in her corner. I'm in her corner. I'm going to be in Desiree's corner. Are you mad? Are you mad? Because who did you think was going to be in Andrew's corner? Not his mama. Not his sisters. Since he only wants to claim one, he has 2 sisters. What were you going to do? Nothing. Just like he wasn't going to do nothing but sit there and hang his head low in shame. Couldn't even look at me or Desiree, especially when I testified. I would love to know what you were going to do, and you want to sit on live and have subscriber only and try to talk about it. What were you going to do? Oh, let me show you guys how he dressed for court today. Yeah. That's how he dressed today for court. He walked right past me. He had to go tell you what was going on. He was crying to you on the phone. What was he gonna do? What were you gonna do? I'm still baffled. What were you gonna do? That's what I want to know. Look at him. You know what I've been praying on? Deshaun goes home with his mom. Yeah. Oh yeah, and the judge accepted all our exhibits. Yeah. Everything I printed off for Desiree, she accepted. Yeah. So you better hope when he goes back tomorrow, he has a real good reason why he has alienated Deshaun from his mama. Why you want to sit up here talking about we buddy. Oh girl, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. I mean, the judge had to tell him to take his hoodie and hat off before she entered. Do you think she took kindly to his demeanor in the courtroom? You better leave us alone. One thing's for sure and 2 things for certain. God ain't never played about me in my mouth. And I'm the advocate standing up for Desiree. And she has another advocate who is appointed in the county of Monoma County as her advocate in this situation. So again, that man better walk up in there tomorrow and have a real legitimate reason on why he kept Deshaun from his mom. Because I'm still baffled on what you thought you was going to do if you came to the courthouse and you saw me. That's what I want to know. What, you going to try to walk up to me? Nah. You would have been just as pussy as him. You know, when I got on the stand and the judge asked him, do you have any questions for her? And he said, no. So again, what were you going to do? Oh, wait, the judge wasn't going to let you speak unless he appointed you as a witness, which he didn't. So I want to know, what were you going to do? That's my question for you today. What were you going to do? Nothing. Walk past like he did. He walked right past. Couldn't even look at me. Couldn't even look at Desiree. But he called you to say, they're here. They're both here. They're ganging up on me. Oh my God, somebody help me. Girl, you would have walked into a ring of fire. You wouldn't want to see me in person.
Drew on a live was trying to convince people that a 9-year-old child can decide who they live with. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that is not actually the case. 9-year-olds cannot make that decision.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't want to be anywhere else. He doesn't want to be anywhere else but right here. He doesn't. He said he doesn't want to sleep nowhere else. He doesn't want to be with nowhere else. He doesn't want to be without his sisters, his siblings, none of that. Oh, of course he deserves a home. We're working on it. I'm not worried about it. It's one step at a time. He is definitely old enough to make that decision, because when my parents got divorced, that when I was 10 years old, I made that decision. I was not. He doesn't want to go nowhere else. But y'all can keep running whatever. Y'all can exactly. Yeah, he's definitely old enough to speak for himself, and he's been said that. We get emotional about this shit all the time. Why can't I do 50-50? First, there's a lot of things that is not going to make it 50-50, and plus my son has already spoken up and said where he wants to be, who he wants to be with, and how he wants to live his life. He wants to be with his sisters, his brother, his dad.
The first visitation for Desiree is supposed to take place today, Sunday, the 8th of June, on the day I'm recording this video. Well, we will have to see whether that happens or not. And the second thing the judge said is that Steph is not allowed to make any reference to this boy on social media. She's not allowed to photograph him, video him, or talk about him at all on her social media. But straight away, Stephanie didn't take any notice of what the judge said, and this is what she posted on Facebook about it.
Update. I'm not sure how much I'm legally allowed to share, especially because I wasn't able to attend court alongside of Drew. What I can say is the judge was in agreement that blank has a say in the matter. He will get the opportunity to see his biological mother and decide for himself if he wants to build a bond or not. I personally sat with blank and let him know that I don't ever want him to feel like he'll hurt me or that anything will change between him and I. He can choose to get however close he feels comfortable with his biological mother. However, that will never change the fact that I have been there for him and will be there for him for the rest of his life, regardless of what happens. I love him more than I can say. He has the biggest heart and the best smile. I'll never forget the little cutie that opened the door with his daddy the first time I met him. He was still small enough to fit in footy pajamas and was rocking a cute dinosaur set. He didn't take long to warm up to me and the girls at all, and he asked me within a few months if he could call me mommy. Of course I said yes because I already saw him as my boy. I truly hope that his bio goes forward with the best intentions for him. She had no involvement for years prior to October 2024.
Oh, I've got to ask this. What have you actually done for him, Steph? His dad and him were in a massive 1-bedroom apartment, which was a lovely place for just 2 people. And then you turn up with your children and then proceed to have more children. I mean, how can you say that you've done anything fantastic for him? Because, in my opinion, you've made his life worse, not better. The general consensus of opinion for many creators now that these court hearings are taking place and everything is becoming real is that the not so resilient Jenkins are going to make a run for it. They are going to disappear with the children because let's face it, Steph has been making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on TikTok and on Facebook. So it's not like they haven't got money. They just say that they want a specific place in a specific area. But now that Desiree has got access to her son and Arlita looks like she is going to get paid back money from Drew, people are thinking that they are going to disappear. Well, what made people think that was what was said in this video.
Full transparency, I'm a little beat, I'm not gonna lie. And I'll do my best to put this voiceover on this video, but recently we've been noticing a fluctuation with cars in and out, people staying here that just don't seem to be the type of people that would even be from this area, especially with my iCloud recently being hacked and 4 years of my data being wiped. I mean, we're talking 4,000 videos and photos. Memories back from 2021 all the way to current of my kids, our family, and no doubt all the content that I put the work into these last few years. First opened my iCloud to find all of that gone, it hit me pretty hard, especially because I can't help but wonder why anyone would want any of that information. Why you take the time to get into somebody's iCloud when knowing full well that's something you can definitely take a legal route, and I'm going to do so. I'm not good with any technical terms on that. I'm just saying that's something that is not okay. You have access to the videos that I post, the photos that I post, but directly hacking into my personal information, that's just not okay. Even more transparency here, and I told my man that I was going to say this, so it's not like I'm hurting any feelings. I really feel like a lot of the reasons why y'all attack me have nothing to do with me personally. Keep bringing up the fact that I'm still married to an SO. Then you bring up my living situation like I have no idea what it's like. Dude, I'm the one living it. What the heck? Like I said, I'm beat, so yeah, I have a lack of energy in my voice, lack of enthusiasm, and I'm definitely not done talking because I feel like I didn't have a voice in any of this. Bye now.
I personally don't care that she got hacked. It couldn't happen to a nicer person. And she's bringing up all these strange people being around. Well, you're in a homeless shelter. I mean, what do you expect to happen? It's generally a place for people that are only there for a short period of time. So the turnover of people is going to be pretty much on a regular basis, as far as I'm aware. So this is what has made people think that they are going to flee. We could all be wrong on that, and I'll put my hands up if I am wrong, but at the moment, that is the general consensus of opinion. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the Not So Resilient Jenkins update. If you have, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.